Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and for today's show, we're going to jump right into our first guest, and this is Tony. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Introduce yourself for everyone.
Hello. My name is Tony Gibson. I'm an actor, writer, producer, and director.
Awesome. And I just saw the film that Shannon, our producer, is editing for you. You want to kind of tell us a little bit about that? It's called Gypsy Moon.
Yeah, Gypsy Moon. It's a full feature film. It's a fantasy thriller. We've done an unofficial trailer version for it that we put together to show our audience something. So that's we're looking forward to that. It's been an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, yeah, Shannon's been a huge help.
Hi, Shannon.
And yeah, I'm very grateful and thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had a little bit of difficulty with this show, so thank you so much for coming on such short notice.
Oh, no problems, no problems. I started out acting when I was young. I mean, I was like a kid, and I was one of those kids that rolled around on the floor with ketchup all over him. My mom would be scared to death, and it just kind of evolved from that point. So theater is where I picked up around 02, 03, and I went to school at Kilgore, and from that point I was introduced to film in Austin, Texas, and that's where I kind of got into extra positions, and then actually landing roles, and from that point forward I just paid attention to my surroundings, and it was kind of hand-eye memory, watching people like Robert Rodriguez and Kimberly Pierce direct, write, do their thing, and that was enough drive for me to go do something for myself. Yeah. So yeah,
awesome.
it's been cool.
So you've been doing this basically my entire life.
Right? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. It's been fun. Thank you, Sean.
Aw, look at that. Thanks, producer.
You're all right.
Yeah. So, how did you go about making your first film?
The first film, we thank God for friends. I'll say that much. People who are faithful to the film network and faithful to your craft, and they believe in you and your work. One of these guys is a DP out there, Andrew Newton, Brody Price, Jan Duncan Ware. These people out there that are like that are just, they're miracles that are sent down, and it's a matter of time and placement where things will just fall into place. Yeah. And it's really, you don't have any power over it. All you do is push for what you love, and then it happens. You just don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So what are some of the other films that you've worked on?
I worked on Grindhouse. I was in the Planet Terror, the Planet Terror portion of Grindhouse. Robert Rodriguez. I worked on Troublemaker Studio sets for about 4 months. Paramount Pictures. I worked for Stop Loss.
Wow.
I was got to hang out with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Channing Tatum. They're cool guys. Let's see, Burn Orange Productions. I was a reporter in Elvis and Annabelle.
Wow.
Jumping Off Bridges. I was a club thug. So yeah, this one here, Gypsy Moon, I play the role of a captain, and the captain is it's a different role. It was probably the most challenging role I've really ever had to play, and I'm still young at my craft. I'm not a Hollywood name or a big time hitter yet. So it's but it's gradually getting to that point. We all have a stepping stone, a working base. But yeah, I look forward to the future.
Yeah, and didn't you have a British accent in that film?
I did.
Yeah?
Because I'm real Texas right here. Like Southern boy. So yeah, and I really have a lot of family that's South Louisiana. So I got the the Gator hunter in me, I guess, and that's I've never lost that. Got Cajun in my blood. So French and Cajun, and that don't make for a good combination when you're articulate. But theater kicks in when you become the character. Yeah. So when I read a character, the Texas is gone. I don't no longer possess that body. Yeah. I now become the person that I need to be in order to convince the audience, convince myself, believe it is what it is. Yeah, and that's the fun in it. That's the love of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that film, it was a period piece.
It was.
So how did you go about doing that?
Again, good friends. Yeah. So my old theater professor, Raymond Caldwell, special thanks to Northeast Texas, the Shakespeare Festival. What Raymond Caldwell did for me was just incredible. He basically gave us period piece costumes.
Wow.
Yeah, that were done from the festival. So they were hand sewn. Everything was like top of the line.
Yeah.
So this, and then Andrew provided, a red dragon is what we shot Gypsy Moon on, which is a 6K camera, and yeah, it is beautiful, And then I had some of I had the best cast and crew I could have asked for, especially Alexis Arnold. Alexis Arnold, the little girl, I adore her. I adore her. And Shannon Arnold, her mother, is one of the best people that I've ever met in my life. Again, these people that are in your life, that become part of your life, they're amazing. The other star was Lauren Locks, and she's...
Overthrow the order, and the fact that we have taken their land might prey on their minds.
We will not bow to the order and its corrupt laws.
There will always be casualties of war, my lady.
I want you to personally deliver this letter this evening.
I need you to be brave for me.
Take their heart.
All opposition is here.
My people have been here for generations.
All right, you want to kind of tell us a little bit about the storyline and what we saw in that trailer?
The trailer was just kind of a rough it's just a teaser, and it's unofficial. It's an unofficial trailer. It's not the actual official trailer that we're going to put out. We put a lot of time and effort into it, very much so, and it's going to be close. But there's pieces with the actual beast and stuff that we're going to surprise the audience with in the future. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that very much.
Awesome, yeah. So when are we going to be able to, view this, and where are you planning on viewing this at?
We're going to probably view it either in Austin, Texas, or Dallas. It's to be debated right now. There have been some delays that are just, part of post-production.
Yeah.
And some other additional things have got to get done with the movie in order for it to be marketable.
Yeah.
So I recently attended AFM out in Santa Monica, California, I want to say a year and a half ago, and I learned a lot about the industry there as well. And it's one of these things where they want to have a name, or they want to have, they don't want a puzzle that's half done.
Yeah.
They want a puzzle that is fully put together, and they can tell because they're professionals that if you took time to do it. If you say you're an actor and you're not just a salesman, you can tell behind the camera if somebody has training. Yeah. Same thing with making a film, is that you want your quality, your story, your talents, you want everything to roll into one so that it's marketable, it's sellable, and you move on to bigger and better projects.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
The date I was hoping to release for the fall, But unfortunately, we're looking like 2018 before it's a release.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. And you talked a lot about training just then. What kind of formal, did you go to college for film? Like what kind of formal training do you have? And what would you recommend?
What I recommend?
Yeah.
I've got theater experience and I've got hands-on training with film.
I feel like hands-on is definitely the route to go.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's you have friends that are involved and then you network with your friends and then you learn things. The most important thing to me that an actor can learn is their toolbox, a mental toolbox. And this toolbox, this is what I've learned in theater, is it's made up of emotions that you have during life.
Yeah.
You have sorrow, you've got happiness, you've got these things that kind of hold you and build you and your character as you go through life. And sometimes sometimes they could be a little more painful than normal, but these things you hold inside your toolbox.
Yeah.
And then you release these emotions through these characters that are on paper, so that the reality is you are that character, you are that person.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me.
There is one question that I ask all of my guests before we end our interviews, and that is, what would be your best piece of advice for a young filmmaker coming into this industry?
Live in the moment. Live in the moment. There's no promise tomorrow. Do the best you can. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Live in the moment. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Tony, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to tell us any social media or anywhere we can find you and your work?
I'm on IMDb. You can find me on Twitter at GhostShip36. I'm on Facebook as well. So GhostShip36, you can find me just about everywhere, or Tony Odell Gibson at imdb.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And I will see y'all guys in just a second. guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and this is our guest for today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Rotz. I am a local actor and now a writer, director, producer of my very first short film.
Awesome, yeah. So how did you get started in that?
Mostly with acting, and that's my first love. So in doing film work, I just got interested in what was going on behind the camera. So started volunteering and working on sets and just taking mental notes and picking up, and learning and got opportunities to do a little bit more and a little bit more. And so last year I went out to Louisiana Film Prize to watch a film Anthony Gutierrez had in. And I got really, really excited about the whole process and decided to pull out a script I had and see if I could put it all together. So,
awesome.
Yeah, we made it into the top 20 at Louisiana Film Prize. Yeah, thank you. That was really a huge goal, and so I was very excited about it. And that will play in Shreveport the 5th through the 8th of October.
Awesome,
So yeah, it's really a fun festival. So I'm
awesome,
excited.
yeah. Do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about what it's about?
Yeah, sure. It's a quirky story. It's a little bit different. It's the story of a girl who is more comfortable in a bunny suit than in her own skin, and it is really how she started her life at age 5 all the way to about age 18. And how she became that person and how she found her place in the world. And we shot it on 16mm Super 16 film, actually, which was
so like an actual film.
like film. Yeah.
That's insane. Was that
Yeah.
like more expensive? Was it more difficult to film that way?
Yes and yes. So yeah, the film itself is expensive, and so you have to get very, very conservative about how much you use it, and so it makes the whole process different in that you with digital you look at it, oh well, let's do that again, or can you turn your head a little bit more that way, or let me adjust the light. And with film it's not like that.
Yeah, you kind of have to work with, you get the first take.
Yeah, so it's rehearse, shoot. And if you have to do it more than twice, you're way beyond. So we learned that pretty quick, and we learned that kind of on the go, and so we had to adapt really fast. And so every morning I would get up and, okay, we're cutting this. And at the end, it was really a challenge to say, okay, do we still have our story? And it's kind of like you get the film back and they convert it to digital for you for editing, but you get it back and it's like, it's either going to be Christmas or Halloween, terrifying or really, really exciting. So
yeah, that's insane. Yeah, and that's not an experience that everyone gets every day.
Yeah, it's different, and it started out, with the Film Prize last year, and they had this challenge. Kodak kind of offered up this challenge to shoot in film, and I thought, well, that's pretty interesting, and maybe we'll do that. But we had debated, do we do it in film? Do we not? The film itself starts in 1968, and so it's a period film, and it would fit for film, but I was kind of scared.
Yeah, especially for your first film, I would be too.
Yeah, it was scary. So then I said, well, let me think about it, and I pulled out my script, which I had written in 2013, and the first thing I had on the page was shot in Super 8. And so once I read my own words, and this really needs to be in film, I thought,
it was kind of like a miracle.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm going to honor that process and go for it, and it was challenging start to finish.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. And I mean, that's interesting because I have a collection of cameras myself. I love old cameras and things like that. Awesome. And that's not it. That's a very, very expensive thing, and that's not something that, people, working on an indie budget get to do every single day of their lives.
True. Well, Kodak did help us a little bit. They did give us, so we ordered film and they gave us a little bit extra, and they helped us with the discount and processing and things like that, which was really nice. Yeah, definitely adds a little bit more to your cost. Camera-wise, though, I ended up buying a film camera, so I will use it again.
Cool.
Yeah. I have like an RE SR2, and it's an older camera, but it gave us beautiful pictures. We are very excited about it.
That's so cool. Yeah, and that's that you kind of like, I've worked on real film before.
Yeah, it feels pretty good because you know that, not only I feel good about, I took on the challenge to actually do the film, but also that extra challenge of doing it in film. And I kind of fell in love with the process. It's really different and exciting. It's very exciting.
Oh, for sure. I feel like it's a lot different. And taking and like biting that off, like the first time you're producing your own film and not just working on someone else's project, that's huge. And I feel like you learn a lot that way.
Definitely. I can't even get into like how much I learned on this, and I think all of us did on set. But you know, it just is one of those things that in retrospect, it could be a stupid decision, or it could be a really great decision, and it turns out it was a great decision because we're really excited about what we have, and the film is fun and different, and it's thought-provoking and cute.
And cute.
There's a bunny. So yeah,
there's a bunny.
Yeah, and you know, I had this team of people that was just amazing, and you know, Anthony Gutierrez, who is you know, one of the best storytellers I think out there. Visually, he can tell a story like nobody's business. And, and then I have Kyle Kleinecke, who's from Shreveport, another producer. Stacey Lee, who is one of the absolute best costume people and makeup people I could dream about. I mean, she just so detail oriented and so good at what she does. And Marisol Vera, who my first AD, who I trust. She's a great friend of mine. She's a great film person. She's a great actor. But not only that, once she agreed to come on board, she said, you know, I have a fear of big animal costumes. And she not only took that on, but she's the person that had to carry all those huge animal costumes in her car all the way to Shreveport. So, you know, just people who came out of the woodwork to help. So yeah, I just like, I had just this really cool team of people that jumped in and did really great work.
Yeah, and so you said it was a period piece, so not only was it shot in film, what was it like doing, you know, a period piece where you've got to like make sure everything looks right, make sure everyone is dressed for that time?
Yeah, well, first of all, Stacey was a huge asset there, and I mean, I love period stuff to begin with, and I grew up in that time, so you know, having that eye, but I also took on set design because I know some really great set designers, but I was working on a budget, and I said, this is something I really enjoy too, and I can do this. Well, that was a chunk to bite off.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah, it really, really was a challenge, and it was a huge other job on top of everything else. So tricky, but there's just you know, you just have to pay attention to the detail, and I think really everybody did that and helped out with that. So it was fun. It was fun. One of my favorite periods to work in, just because it's so quirky, really.
Yeah,
it's
like
different.
early 70s, late 60s. That's that's the good old time. What it is, hippie era.
yeah, very different. But yeah, and we had really great actors too, and because we traveled through, you know, a period of time over this little piece of her lifetime, you know, age 5, 9, 12, and then 18. You know, my main character was broken up into parts, and it's a short, so we don't have a lot of time to tell the story. So my other players, you know, had short parts, but their acting was so good that just in these little bitty scenes, they just brought it so well. Jessica Willis played the mom, and some local Shreveport guys, Garrett Krutoff and Finch Neeson and Ted Ferguson played, you know, parts in there, and they were all so good that it made my job easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and then I had kids on set. The youngest one, she was, she'd done some print work and things like that, but this was her first kind of big deal, and it was a risk because she got on set and just looked around and said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Sweetest little, most beautiful little girl ever, Walker Kimball. She's Dallas local, but from Shreveport. And so we spent a little time trying to decide if she was going to, you know, go through with it. And we had a plan B, but in the end, she got in there and did it, and we just. But she looks amazing and did great work too. So.
Awesome, So after you enter it into the film festival, do you have any further plans with it?
I do. I'll send it out to film festivals and you know, just work it through that whole circuit. If I can get a little distribution, great. If not, you know, just the exercise of kind of getting that out there and learning what to do with it, I think is my goal. So right now I've met my first goal, and so now I kind of have to like discover what the other ones exactly are. Yeah. So I've got to figure out the whole system, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience.
Thank you so much for letting me come on and talk about Willow.
Thank you. Yeah, well, there's one more question that I want to ask you before we leave. I ask all my guests that come on the show, and that would be, what would be your best piece of advice for a young filmmaker coming into this business?
Oh, that's a great question. I think really it's just jump in. because especially in Dallas, there's so many opportunities, there's so many independent sets out there and people that need hands, and it takes nothing more than an interest to get out there and be on set and watch and learn. I mean, every single experience that you have is an opportunity to learn. You can watch what they do in the camera, you can watch what they do in the organization part as a director, and don't be afraid. Just jump in and ask questions, and hey, what can I do?
Yeah.
And that'll get you the experience that you need to do whatever you want to do.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. This has been fun.
Do you have any social media or anything that you want to share with us before we leave?
So we do have a Willow short film Facebook page. You know, my own Facebook page is more just, I don't have an actor's page at all, but I do a lot of little stuff. But the Willow page, definitely check out filmprize.org. So that's Louisiana Film Prizes site. It'll give you information on tickets and all that. There are 20 amazing films to go see, and that's really fun. That was one of the best things about last year's Film Prize. So look at their website. They have all the information on ticketing and all that stuff.
Yeah, go meet the people behind the films.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I will see y'all guys in just a little bit.